Hello everyone. I'm Professor Chetan Sagar, recording my first lecture on supercharger engine. In this video, I have covered about this technology in detail. You can see this for upgrading the knowledge, clearing the doubts regarding this technology. Also, you can refer this as a study material for the examination. After watching this video, don't forget to subscribe and like my YouTube channel. Throughout this lecture, I will cover this content comparison of naturally aspirated engine and supercharger engines, the types of the boosting systems, the effect of supercharger on performance, disadvantages, and advancement into the supercharger engine technology. Basically, there are two types of the engines. First one is called the naturally aspirated engine, in which the air or the charge is entering into the engine cylinder at atmospheric pressure during the suction stroke. Means the inlet air pressure is equal to 1 bar. And the second type of the engine is called as a supercharged or the turbocharged engine, in which the air or the charge enters into the engine cylinder above the atmospheric pressure during the suction stroke. That pressure may be 1.5 bar, maybe 2 bar, maybe 2.5 bar. It depends upon the requirement, it depends upon the design of the engine. So power output of the engine depends on the following factor. The first one is the quantity of air inducted into the engine cylinder and extent utilization of the inducted air. Meaning of this is that amount of air enter into the engine cylinder, and after entering, how is the utilization of the inducted air. If this is proper, we can say the smoother combustion will take place, and due to this the power output of the engine increases. Again, it depends upon the inlet conditions of the charge, inlet condition of the air, like the temperature and the pressure. So this is the very important parameters. Again, if temperature and the pressure it is higher, it is going to affect the combustion. Depends upon the speed of the engine, that power is equal to 2 pi nt by 60. That n is nothing but the speed of engine, always measure in terms of the revolution per minute, or we can say it is directly proportional. Again, it depends upon the quantity of fuel admitted and the combustion characteristic of the fuel. Means at a proper loading condition and at a proper speed, proper amount of fuel need to be enter into the engine cylinder, and whatever the fuel enter into the engine cylinder, which must have the better calorific value. If calorific value of the fuel it is higher, the more more energy it is evolved by the fuel, definitely power output is going to increase. And it depends upon the design parameters of the engine, like the compression ratio, combustion chamber shape and the size, the inlet and the exhaust manifold design. So why there is a need of the boosting, why there is a need of the increase in the pressure of the inlet air, or we can say why there is a need of the supercharging or the turbocharging. To raise the density of the air charge, there is a need of the boosting system, there is a need of the supercharging. So by compressing the inlet air, the pressure of the air is going to increase, the density of the air is going to increase. Due to this, the volumetric efficiency of the engine is going to increase. If volumetric efficiency of the engine is going to improve, the complete and the smoother combustion takes place. Due to this, the power output of the engine is going to increase. So we can say, to increase the power output of the engine, there is a need of the boosting system, there is a need of the supercharging or the turbocharging technology. To improve the better torque characteristic over the whole speed range, means for the more torque from lower RPM to the higher RPM, there is a need of the supercharger technology. To improve all the efficiencies of the engine, like the thermal efficiency, volumetric efficiency, mechanical efficiency, there is a need of the supercharging. To improve the acceleration of the vehicle, for the better scavenging of the product, means scavenging means removal of the exhaust gases to the atmosphere during the exhaust stroke. If it is proper, then it will not create the problem of the exhaust gas dilution. Otherwise, the exhaust gases trapped inside the engine cylinder will create the problem to the next cycle. To reduce the exhaust emission norms, as you know, the emission norms are becoming strict, or we can say it is stringent. So for meeting these norms, there is a need of the supercharging, there is a need of the boosting of the pressure of inlet air. So in the figure it is shown, the supercharger engine, it basically consists of the inlet manifold. This blue branching pipe is the inlet manifold through which the air is entering during the suction stroke. And these red branching pipes are called as the exhaust manifold. The exhaust gases during the exhaust stroke will pass into the atmosphere, and it consists of the boosting device is called as the air compressor. The compressor wheel is available, and this compressor wheel is directly connected with the crankshaft. Again, I am repeating, in supercharger engine, this compressor wheel is directly connected with the engine crankshaft. So we can say the supercharger is an engine driven air pump, supplies more than the normal amount of pressurized air into the intake manifold. And the raising the pressure of the air is done by the engine driven compressor. So definitely for compressing the inlet air, certain percentage of the engine power is going to consume. But how much is the pressure it is going to raise by this technology? The boosting air pressure, it is from 1.5 bar to 2.5 bar. It may up to the 3 bar. As well as the question is that at what speed the compressor wheel will rotate. Since it is directly connected with the engine crankshaft, we can say the compressor wheel will run near to the engine speed, and the very quick response it is available to the throttle change. As you accelerate the vehicle suddenly, so when you accelerate the vehicle suddenly, then the response of the engine, it is faster. The acceleration of the engine or the acceleration of the vehicle will be faster. Similarly, the pressure of the inlet, it is higher. The engine should be designed to withstand the higher forces, otherwise it will create the problem. The next thing, it is the types of the boosting devices or the types of the superchargers using into the intake manifold. That is nothing but the compressors. The first one is called as the centrifugal type. So here the centrifugal type boosting device consists of the rotor. This is the fill side and this is the discharge side. So during suction stroke, it will work like the blower that will suck the air, and it will compress the air here, and the pressurized air will discharge from this side, and that will enter into the engine cylinder. So this is the most efficient technology. This is the most efficient device commonly used both in supercharger and turbocharger technology. It is light in weight. It can raise the pressure from 1.5 bar to 3 bar. So it is having a certain problem. It is having a certain problem of supplying of the air into the engine cylinder, unstable supply of the air into the engine cylinder. The second boosting device, the second supercharger, it is the Roots type. It consists of the two root lobes which will rotate in the opposite direction, and this device can be manufactured at a lower cost, but it is having a lower efficiency. So resistance to the flow of the inlet air, it is higher, so the backflow of the air takes place here, as well as the more noise it is going to produce from this device. But it can raise the pressure from 1.1 bar to 2 bar. The third boosting device is the screw type, consists of the two screws which will rotate in the opposite direction, but it is having a more efficiency, but the it requires the more cost for the manufacturing. It can raise the pressure from 1.5 bar to 3 bar, and the less noise it is going to produce, no backflow of the air. So in supercharger as well as in turbocharger technology, mostly the centrifugal type and the screw type superchargers are using. Screw type and the centrifugal type boosting devices are using. The next point, what is the effect of this supercharging onto the performance of the engine? So this slide, it is basically shows the advantage of the supercharger over the naturally aspirated engine. So this is the performance map for the 7.37 liter. The one is the supercharger engine and second one is the unblown engine. It is the naturally aspirated engine. So it is for the comparison. So on the y-axis the power output it is given, as well as the brake specific fuel consumption, as well as the mean effective pressure, and on the x-axis the speed of the engine it is mentioned in terms of the revolution per minute. So in the performance map, the continuous curves are showing the performance of the supercharger engine, and the dotted curve it is of the naturally aspirated engine, unblown engine. So higher brake power output over the speed range, from lower speed to the higher speed, the brake power obtained of the supercharger engine is higher as compared to the naturally aspirated engine, and it is due to increase in the pressure of the inlet air, increase in the density of the inlet air, increase in the volumetric efficiency of the engine, as well as it is due to the better and the smoother combustion, as well as it is because of the better torque over the speed range. The second advantage, we can say that the better acceleration from the lower speed, since the better and the smoother combustion, we can say the acceleration of the vehicle is higher as compared to the naturally aspirated engine, and higher mean effective pressure. This curve is showing the average pressure inside the engine cylinder. So definitely during the intake stroke, during the suction stroke, the pressure of the inlet air itself it is double as compared to the naturally aspirated engine. So during the compression stroke, again that pressure will be more, and after the combustion again that pressure will be higher. So we can say throughout the cycle the average pressure inside the engine cylinder is higher. So from lower speed to the higher speed, the average pressure inside the engine cylinder is higher for the supercharger engine as compared to the naturally aspirated engine. So definitely the emission depends upon the combustion. If the proper combustion is going to take place inside the engine cylinder, the lower emission it is going to produce. So these are the advantages of the supercharger technology. It is having a certain disadvantages. So increase in the pressure definitely increases the temperature of the inlet air, or we can say the increases the temperature of the inlet charge. In case of the spark ignition engine, the ignition lag period of the end charge may decreases, or we can say because of the increase in the inlet air temperature, the ignition lag period of the end charge may decreases, and it may create the detonation that is undesirable in case of the SI engine. So if you are using this technology, the fuels using for this must have the better anti-knock characteristic, means the octane number as well as the cetane number of the fuel should be as high as possible. Similarly, increase in the pressure and the temperature of the inlet air increases the thermal stresses. So over the period of time it can damage the engine components. as well as the gas loading inside the engine cylinder, it is going to increase, as well as the cooling system should be properly tuned. And one more disadvantage is that higher specific fuel consumption. Since compressor it is run by the engine crankshaft, or compressor it is consuming the engine power, the specific fuel consumption it is going to increase. And since the more components are available into the engine, the weight of the engine is higher here, and the noise produced from the engine again it is higher. So to avoid the problems, to overcome the problems, there is an advancement into the supercharger engine. The first one is called as the supercharger with the boost control technology. So many superchargers are equipped with the bypass valve that allows the intake air to flow directly into the engine cylinder, bypassing the supercharger. So as you know, at every loading condition, at every speed, the pressure requirement inside the engine cylinder it is different. But in case of the conventional supercharger engines, at any loading condition, the inlet pressure after the compression it is same. So it can create the problem. It can increases the thermal stresses. It can increases the gas loading. So over the period of timing, it can damage the engine components. So definitely there is a need of the control in the pressure of the inlet air with respect to loading condition, with respect to speed. So that is what done by using the supercharger with the boost control technology. So in the figure it is shown, into the intake manifold this boost control valve is there, that is bypass valve it is there, and this one is the supercharger, this one is the boosting device. So what is going to happen at a particular loading condition, certain amount of air will directly enter by passing the supercharger, or we can say the partial amount of air will flow through this supercharger. So the pressure of the partial air it is going to increase into this boost device, and certain amount of air directly entering into the engine cylinder by passing the supercharger means that certain amount of air it is not going to enter into the boosting device. So the pressure of that air it is not going to increase. So automatically at the end the average pressure it is lower. If you consider the second case, if 100% air is directly passed through the boosting device, what will happen? The pressure of the air will be higher inside the engine cylinder as compared to the first case. So in boost control, in supercharger, the sensor will give the signal to the ECU. That ECU already it is having a programming. Accordingly, ECU will control the opening of the bypass valve. So accordingly, the inlet pressure it is going to control. As well as the second problem with the technology is that increase in the pressure and the temperature may lead to the detonation, that we have already discussed, that is undesirable in SI engine, but increase in the inlet pressure and the temperature that is desirable in CI engine, that may reduce the knocking. But if you consider the other case, increase in the temperature of the inlet air reduces the density of the air. It is directly proportional. So the volumetric efficiency it is going to reduce. If the volumetric efficiency it is going to reduce, then the proper combustion will not take place inside the engine cylinder. So for avoiding this problem, supercharger with intercoolers are using, and these intercoolers are mounted after the boosting device, or we can say this intercooler it is mounted in between the engine cylinder and this boosting device. So this intercooler is nothing but the heat exchanger that will reduce the inlet air temperature, that will cool the air, and that will send the cool air into the engine cylinder. So definitely certain pressure drop will takes place, but the volumetric efficiency remains constant. If volumetric efficiency remains constant, or if it is more, then the combustion it is going to improve. If the combustion it is proper, we can say the power engine will, of the engine will be higher, the torque of the engine will be higher, and the lower emission it is going to produce from the vehicle. So this is about this lecture. I hope you have understood the supercharger technology in detail. My next video will be related to the turbocharger engines, the advancement into the turbocharger engines, comparison between supercharger and turbocharger. So please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you.